Welcome to the new itemization in Season 11. Step 1, we walk up to the blacksmith. Then tempering, and now you can choose what you want. But you only can choose one, either weapon or offensive. It's only one temper affix from now on. Since I am playing a Golemmancer, I'm going to be choosing chance for Golem to hit twice. The only RNG here now would be rolling how high it is. So I get another 4 tries trying to get this as close as possible to 40%. I cannot choose offensive anymore. However, the item does have 4 affixes, and one of these affixes on weapons can now be absolutely incredible. Which does lead me actually to step 2. We're going to go over to the re-rolling. Now, I do have damage, vulnerable damage, and maximum life. That's fine. And the resource cost reduction can actually be re-rolled into attack speed. Yes, you could get life on kill, life on hit, and essence on kill. Those are all terrible. We don't need any kind of resource cost reduction, obviously, or chance to make vulnerable / prime resource. No, we want 20% attack speed. That's actually crazy. 19.5% attack speed, right? And in the next step, we could even improve this further. Return back to your blacksmith, and we're going over to the Masterworking. Instead of now going for 4, 8, and 12, you're going to press the button as often as you need to go up to 20. Now, this can be a 3% increase, or a 3% increase, or a 1%, or a 1%, or a 2%. So it's like slow and steady, you're going to make your way up. It might be 20 clicks, it might be 5 clicks, it might be 8 or 9, right? Everything in between. As you then reach 20, you have increased the average damage of your weapon. We went up to 691 per second, while a normal greater affix one sits at around 600 per second. So a substantial increase already. And now you can do the 21st upgrade, the final one, the pinnacle one. And that one will randomly make one of your affixes be a greater affix. So now the chance for Golem to hit twice got greater affixed. Amazing. It's now a 60% chance. Instead of formerly what we had with the 25%, it could have also made your attack speed go from 18 up to 30%. If you're unhappy with this, you could now press the reset masterwork ranks and just reroll this and get something else. In this case, you'd be getting maximum life, which is kind of shitty. In order to reroll, that costs money and it costs Neath Iron. Neath Iron you get a farm from Bartuk in the Infernal Hordes, from World Bosses, from Astaroth in Nightmare Dungeon Escalation, or Belial, the Lord of Lies, also drops this, as well as normal elite monsters and bosses from Nightmare Dungeons. However, the best source of Neath Iron is probably the Deceiver if you have it, or just simply spamming the Infernal Hordes like crazy. Good, let's assume you're happy with your masterwork. Make sure that you have the right aspect. That's very important. In my case, we're playing minions, so I'm going to slap on the aspect of reanimation for that 120% bonus damage, or the aspect of Great Feast. Keep in mind, we won't be able to change this after the final step. That's why we're going through everything. Then head over to the jeweler to add another socket to your item. Don't worry about putting jewels in right away. These can actually still be interchanged even after the final step. Since now we're going to head to the Heavenly Forge. And here we can sanctify our item. Howdy Hadriel, Heavenly Forge. Put the item in, and you'll need to get yourself the Heavenly Sigils. These you get, for example, from finishing pits. I've gotten them randomly from Duriel in the Helltide, world bosses again, but most of them really from just pumping through the pit. Now, this sanctification is completely random, and there is actually not a single good outcome apart from double aspect. Most importantly, sanctifying ends the journey of your item. You cannot change an affix anymore, and you cannot put on a better aspect. Let's say I have reanimation at 100% out of 120% possible, and it's a 3 greater affix axe that gets the perfect double aspect now with the Great Feast. I will never be able to put a better reanimation on. The item journey is over. The only thing you can change, as we mentioned, is put in new sockets, right? We could change the jewels into overpowered jewels, for example. But no other change, no remastering, tempering, affix, re-rolling, nothing. After sanctifying, it's over. The final step. Let me show you some examples of sanctification. This item get ignore durability loss. The one on the side get another 7.5% critical strike chance, which is nice. The ring itself got the amulet, also ignore durability loss. My Ring of Mendel, bonus attack speed, which is actually fantastic. My Fists of Fate, resource cost reduction. That's completely useless. And my Reckon of the Wake, get the movement speed as another greater affix from Sanctification. As you notice here right now, none of these things are outstanding. Sure, the attack speed is nice and the critical strike chances are good. The durability loss is useless. But if you consider that Sanctify could give you a second aspect, all of these are trash. Because my aspect of reanimation, two-handed size, could also get an aspect of Great Feast on top of it, which would be another 110% more damage. Not 8% more attack speed, not 10% more summon damage or anything. No, another 110% just by sanctifying it. So if you actually get anything other than the double aspect, that's kind of bad. And not only bad, like let's sanctify this for a second. I have a new affix added. So in this case, I get 123 to all stats. I am not unhappy about this. But again, I could have gotten 110% bonus damage. So as okay as this is right now, I am pretty much now still forced or looking for a new item to sanctify again. And that's where the problem starts, because now I get a Grave Bloom. That's for my triple golems. You can see my triple golems here, right? So I pretty much have to find 10 Grave Blooms, all of them with a greater affix, all of them preferable with 60%, and then I have to go here and sanctify all 10 of them, hoping that I get an amazing outcome that's not ignore durability loss. Because yes, also, unique items can get other aspects on top of it. And if my Grave Bloom, for example, gets reanimation or the Great Feast, that would be insane. That would be beyond insane. That would be crazy, right? So in order to max out now, in order to super grind, sanctify, I need to find a copious amount of items. And this one, for example, I don't even dare to sanctify because it has Golem active cooldown reduction as a greater affix. It doesn't look like a greater affix, but it's 37.5% compared to the 21% you have here. So it actually did get greater affix. If I now sanctify, it could replace that Golem active cooldown reduction, right? That can happen. That would be terrible. Let's actually sanctify and see if that happens. No, it was new affix added. Ooh. But you see, you could actually ruin an item. I get gem strength in this item. That's kind of cute. Not necessarily for a ring, but hell, in this case, it's going to give me even more elemental resistance, 207 over the 125 a normal one gives me. Not bad, but again, not a double aspect for even more damage multipliers. And that's going to be the big chase this season. You're going to keep going for items and new items and new items, and then push through the pit like crazy to get the Sanctify materials and try to get the double aspect, because that's where the ultimate power is. I mean, if you want to participate in the leaderboards, if you want to participate in the tower, if you want to have your character at pinnacle strength, that's definitely what we're aiming for. However, the system has zero deterministic outcome, so you have no control over what's going to happen. And that feels a bit bad because we are pretty much putting an item through the Masterworking, through the Tempering. Hell, think about it. If I have an amulet with Fueled by Death or 3 ranks to Envenom, 3 ranks to whatever, any cool 3 ranks that would give you massive damage, like Coalesced Blood or Tides of Blood in an overpower build on the Necro, or whatever your character needs. And then you Masterwork it up, you get it as a greater affix, cool, and you have also another skill ranks. And then you would go to Sanctification, and it would either turn durability loss, or it would even replace one of those affixes. And suddenly, instead of having the Ultra Amulet that's worth 50, 60, 70 billion, you have an item that's useless. So your best actual items, you can't even sanctify them unless you found an equivalent good item to then sanctify. Or you would say doom and gloom and just throw it in the mixer and be like, whatever happens, happens. I mean, let's be real, for weapons with 1 greater affix, like this, you 20 times Masterworking up, you get a second greater affix, so I guess they're interchangeable, but I can go to the Opal vendor, right, and I can get 3 of these sizes. Still, though, it's going to be feeling bad to break something. I kind of feel like we have to remove the durability loss, we have to remove the replace an affix, and only keep turn 1 more into a greater affix, bonus aspect, and a new sanctification as affix. Those are the only things I want to see. There should not be a chance to ruin your item. This is not Path of Exile 2. I'm sorry, this is Diablo 4. We pretty much moved away from tempering, breaking your items. We moved away from the Masterwork super gamble, apart from obviously the last little step in the equation, right? And now we're again at a gamble with a sanctifying. Well, could have kept the old system then anyways. Did anything else change about the item journey in the game? Yes, quite a lot. My Ring of Medeln has 2 ranks to Skeleton Warrior Mastery, Mage Mastery, Golem Mastery. And in the old system, I could have pushed this up to 4 to 5 ranks with Masterworking. Now I just know it's going to stay at 2. And the same kind of goes to Gravebloom. So I could get the Golem Mastery at a greater affix and maybe go up to 4. But if it was 4 in the old system, I could have pushed it up to 8 or 7. So that would be another 3 ranks more. Let's say we're missing a total of 6 Golem Mastery ranks right now. And every rank of Golem Mastery is actually 25% more damage. So that's over 100% damage that we are weaker, because the new system does not allow for the pushing of the mastery. This means that max rolled aspects are more important than ever, because your items are going to stay damage-wise as they are. Sure, you could get the critical strike damage a bit further up, but I'm mostly aiming for the Golem active cooldown. Sure, you could get your 3 ranks to Fueled by Death, but again, as soon as it's greater affix, that's it. You're not going to get it higher. You're not going to get it to 6 or 5, right? That means if I get a 90% aspect on my minions deal more damage, insane. If I get the maximum rolled Fell Gluttony here, max damage, insane. If I get the Great Feast aspect at 55%, those are the meaningful damage values, because I can't actually boost it up otherwise anymore. My Blood Moon Breaches, sure I can get a greater affix in Golem Mastery, sure I can get a greater affix in Hellbent Commander, that would be then 3 and 3 instead of 5 and 5. This is another 2 ranks of Golem Mastery, which is another 50% damage multiplier missing. Overall, it's quite rough to exist in Torment 4. I mean, in the PTR, you have 200 Paragon points instantly, and you have all your glyphs up to level 100, and you're pretty much able to do a pit 75, right? My Golem build, quite strong, does billions of damage, can spam the Golem after I got the cooldown down with many of these cooldown reduction, cooldown reduction, cooldown reduction, cooldown reduction items. Still, I had to fight tooth and nail for that, and now I can pretty much do pit 75. Where in the old ways, with the chaotic perks, I could have done pit 100 and beyond and go crazy. I mean, pit 75, 80, maybe 85 seems to be the max this season in the current world, with the current life of the monsters and everything, but not higher. And that's obviously due to the crazy amount of power that we're missing that the new Masterwork system can't provide. Because if I 20 times Masterwork the Ring of Medeln, I can get more intelligence, more damage, more summon attack speed, and that's it. Right? I cannot influence the ranks anymore. And that's crazy. That's definitely a weaker journey. It makes the journey a bit easier because you don't even have to think about this. You don't even have to think about how many ranks could I get out of this, right? You simply run here, and just like the old system used to be, you put the thing in and 20 times click the button, bop, 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 done. Whatever outcome comes, you get another greater affix and it makes you X stronger. Woohoo! As bad as the old system was because of all the RNG, at least there was something to look forward to, right? To at least hit once your skill ranks, to maybe hit it twice. And if you hit it 3 times, it was obviously insane. But even if you hit it only twice, it was crazy. And now you're just hoping for another greater affix. And then you're hoping for Sanctifying not to break it. As gambly as the old system was, I'm kind of missing these hype moments here. Because I jammed that button 20 times and I literally do not care what the outcome is, right? I just want something. I just want to get the average damage up, I want to get the average armor up, and I want to get the average resistance up on the item. But what gets greater affixed? That moment of excitement is actually quite missing. And I don't think that the Masterwork system, the way it is right now, is how I would like it to be. Because I completely missed the influence over our core skill ranks to boost our damage to meaningful go anywhere. If we keep the system as is, we definitely need to lower the HP of minions, hardcore. Because not even being able to get towards pit 100, while I'm having level 100 glyphs, the highest possible damage multiplier from glyphs possible, something doesn't add up. Because I will have level 30 and 40 glyphs when I get close to Torment 4. And I'm going to miss 60 ranks per glyph. That's another 50% damage multiplier wholesale. Maybe 60 plus all the additive damage is missing. Oh, that's going to be hard. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about the new journey? Do you like the tampering? Do you like the masterworking? What would your feedback to Blizzard be? Feel free to put it in so I can tell them. And also, if you want to know how the leveling feels, we get it all wrapped up with all the mechanics, the torment progression, all of it. Watch it, enjoy, and take care.